Yeah, I saw, Scary Movie 6 in theaters, yeah. Oh shit, we need a review of that. Alright, I'm gonna get this blue coin, I'm gonna talk about it. But yeah, I saw Scary Movie 6 the other day. I saw it in theaters with some family, and, it was okay. I was surprised because I was going into it expecting the worst because the reviews are really horrible. Every review starts off with like, oh, the Wayans are going for such offensive material. It's so offensive and mean-spirited. They offend this group and this group. But I gotta tell you, watching the movie, I was shocked at how tame everything is. I was really surprised by that. Like, the most you get out of like a transgender joke in that movie is the dad, which is actually pretty like fair and relevant and relatable, is that the dad's trying to get an understanding of like the pronouns to call, you know, he's a little confused of what to call his son, you know, daughter who became a son or what have you. Everything was fairly tame, and then at least in that respect I didn't find offensive. It was very hit or miss. Overall, the movie wasn't as funny as 1, 2, or maybe even 3, which is disappointing. I was consistently chuckling, but I didn't have any big laugh out loud moments. The closest were 1 or 2 jokes, which I'm not going to spoil, but yeah, I was a bit let down. I've never seen a Wayans film, like with all the Wayans involved, I guess except for Little Man, where I wasn't like having like laugh out loud moments, like White Chicks, Scary Movies 1 and 2, Don't Be a Menace, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. All those movies like have me dying consistently throughout, and if I can't get like dying consistently throughout, like bust out laughing, then I can at least hope to get a handful of those, and I didn't. Instead, I got like light chuckles throughout most of it, which was a bit disappointing, but not terrible. I mean, it was funny, just not... It felt a bit lamer and tired than I was expecting. One of the big problems is that it's constantly referencing the first 2 movies. Which I get it, you know, this is the Wayans back after like 25 years. That's unheard of for creators to get kicked off a franchise and then get it back. It very rarely happens. And I understand that you can't retroactively rewrite a script after a trailer is released, but we got that feeling already. Like, oh my god, they're back. You know, we got that since the first trailer was released. We don't need a movie just constantly, hey, remember this, remember that? Yeah, no, ever since that trailer was released or we heard the news, people have been rewatching it, or we remember those jokes. Referencing a previous joke isn't funny. It's just telling me, you remember you laughed at this? Yes, I did. Thank you. I do remember that. Thank you. And I, you know, I get it, because it's a parody of Scream 5, I think, 5 and 6 or what have you, which are also like sort of like reunion films. Hey, this character's back. Hey, this character's back. And they're doing the thing they did in the previous movie. So I get that to a degree, but when you're parroting something, if you get too close to what you're parroting, then it just becomes a clone of it. It just becomes what it is you're making fun of. And yeah, it was getting a little tiring. Yes, I remember Doofy did this with his finger. I remember Ray did this, and you know, and I remember Shorty. I remember these things. I do something new. That's why I hope if they ever do, I have positive feelings towards a Scary Movie 7 if they ever make it, because now with the reunion stuff out of the way, now that that initial impact is done, maybe they can just come up with all new stuff going forward. We'll see. What else? Ray is like... Ray, you know, Shawn Wayans, the character Ray plays, the completely in denial gay guy in the film, he has the least material in this one. And in fairness, I don't know if he was the strongest character in the previous films either, to be honest. He's just like a one-note joke. He's just, you know, I'm saying that I'm not gay while doing very gay things. He was never the deepest, like, well for jokes, but he was used well in the first 2 movies, even with those limitations in mind, and not so much here in 6. Sean just feels like the weakest, like, he feels like he barely has a presence in the film. Even Shorty, like, he's still the same weed smoker, but even then they change his character a little bit. They give him a little bit of an update, which they use really well, that I won't spoil. Yeah, Anna Faris and Regina Hall are really good, and you can tell when the Wayans are writing these characters. Brenda and Cindy feel like Brenda and Cindy from the first 2 films. They feel as they should compared to 3 and 4. Regina Hall is still really funny and used well. Same with Anna Faris. What I liked is that as a Scream parody, like Scream 5 brought in the new generation and the old generation, they actually had a good cast to like be the kids of the previous Scary Movie characters. They had Brenda's kids, that weren't like her necessarily, but played off of her really well. Their chemistry was good. The actress who plays Cindy's daughter is like scarily exactly like Anna Faris. It's like, dang, how did you get someone who looks and can play exactly Anna Faris? Like, I was really impressed by that. I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. They're also good parodies of the actors from Scary Movie 5. They look just like them. They act. They do a really good job parodying those characters from 5 and 6. I don't want to spoil too much because that's the tough thing. It's hard because I would have to talk about like individual references or parodies. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of the parodies fell flat for me. A lot of the things that they were referencing, when they stuck to Scream, funnily enough, is when I thought it worked best. Maybe a bit on the nose, but I thought when they were a little more focused, the jokes tend to work the best. But there's references to like Get Out, Ma, the Michael movie, which people saw the Michael Jackson parody clip that they did, and you know, it wasn't funny, but there's a payoff to that in the film that makes it funny. The Substance, which I still need to see. It's a lot of parodies, but very few of them I thought were very funny. One of the other annoyances for me in this film is that, and you know me, guys, I couldn't care less if ever you make fun of white people. I couldn't care less. I do it fairly often myself. But but there's like, I swear, at least 200 or plus uses of the words white or white people in the film. And it's lazy. It's not even like good, like making fun of white people jokes. It's just, oh, that white person's crazy. That white people, oh, you white people do this. Like, it's just so lame and on the nose and bland. And yeah, I don't know, that's kind of disappointing. I expected more from the Wayans, especially coming back after this long, and it's just sort of middle of the road, which I don't know if, you know, outside of Little Man, again, that's the only film I can think of. Generally, like, the Wayans like swing hard one way or the other. Like, either it's a huge hit or a huge miss, and everything just felt kind of middle of the road. There's a great intro for the film. There's great references to other Wayans' works. Yeah, it's the Wayans style of humor. There are jokes that you've seen in other Wayans films or in Living Color. There are a lot of reused jokes, but that was the case kind of in the first two Scary Movies as well. If you can reuse it but still make it funny, it works. Like the scene where Cindy in the car, as we go on, we remember. You know, that's a joke from In Living Color. They've done that before, but they redid it in a way that made it funny. And yeah, there's still some of those kinds of jokes in there. It was nice to see Kim Wayans as the first Scary Movie with Kim in there. I always feel bad for Kim Wayans. She's like the best actress, the best actor of the family, but she always gets neglected by Hollywood and sometimes by her brothers, which is a shame. But she was good in this. She played like Nurse Ratched, but like the today's Ratched, where she's like really ghetto, which is funny. And yeah, you know what? They even went so far as to reference 3 and 4. They didn't ignore, you know, that 3 and 4 happened. They do have some characters from 3 and 4. They reference 3 and 4 in bitterness, of course. But yeah, some good fourth wall breaking stuff there. A lot of critics are like complaining about the film for being outdated with its references, but they can't rewrite a script, you know, as new movies are coming out. Like people are complaining, you know, this feels dated compared to Backrooms and Obsession. You can't retroactively, you know, add Backrooms and Obsession or whatever the current films are. They're going to do stuff with Megan. They're going to do stuff with, you know, whatever the films, well, not great, but memorable or, you know, in pop culture horror films were before that. Oh, they had a good weapons joke in the film too. The Longlegs joke sucked. They had a thing with Hanson from 2 and he's wasted. Doofy's back and he's still as problematic as he was in the first 2 movies. They don't really... I guess he's used about as well as the first 2 movies in that regard. First movie, he wasn't in part 2, but yeah, they bring in damn near everybody from 1 at least. The only person left out was the chick who played like the hoe in part 1, like the jock dude's girlfriend. I can't remember the actress's name, but she was like the only one who wasn't back from part 1. I think everyone else came back from the first film. Everyone else was brought back, I should say. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see whenever they make 7. Hopefully they get their stuff together. Hopefully they can
you know, again, go for the fences. Like, don't be middle of the road. Like, even if it's a miss, like, you get a big hit after that. But I didn't care much for how middle of the road a lot of the jokes were. There were some highlights, don't get me wrong, and those highlights I won't spoil, but yeah, it was both. I was both relieved that it wasn't terrible, like the critics said, but disappointed because I don't often, if ever, see something from the Wayans that's like mediocre or mediocrely funny, like weakly funny. That's unheard of for me for the Wayans. Like, everything they've touched has been like laugh out loud. Even if there's a lot of jokes that fail, there's always a lot of great laugh out loud jokes, and that just wasn't too much the case here. Yeah, so yeah, that's Scary Movie 6. I would recommend seeing it. It's still funny enough. I think it's worth seeing, but I don't know if you have to necessarily go to the theaters for it. It's gonna make the money. It's already made its money, so I don't feel that you have to go out. It's not that good that I think you have to go out to the theaters to see it, but I think it's worth watching, and yeah, I hope that they get their stuff together for 7. Anyway, very long rant over.